Hi, friends, and happy winter solstice 2025. I'm Dr. Christine, and I'm a personal psychology coach. I'm a quantum energy healer. I do I teach yoga with therapeutic emphasis, and I help people heal from all kinds of neurosis and return to wholeness and a sense of happiness and purpose. And today I'm here to share my Rauhnächte ritual with you and invite you to practice it with me if it so, calls you. Um, I've actually been doing this practice for over 10 years, I just recently realized. So I started this more actively in 2014, although I've known about it, quite a couple years before that. And it comes from the European region that I'm from. I'm originally German, so if you hear an accent, I'm German. And I record most of my videos in English, but I might actually start recording some in German as well. But this ritual that I want to talk to you about today comes from the Alpine and Germanic regions. It's actually quite a long ritual, and some regions in Germany still very much celebrate and observe and take care, do this ritual. So this ritual is really lovely and wonderful as kind of like a pre-manifestation ritual before the new year happens. And it's called Rauhnächte because back then, the nights in Germany were snowy and rough, and so that's the literal translation, Rauhnächte. But in the English-speaking realms, you would probably know it as the 12 sacred nights. So before I tell you a little bit more about the ritual and the how you go about it, I'm actually going to start getting started with cutting up my own stuff and showing you what you need in case you wanted to join me and do this ritual as well. So the Rauhnächte really start on December 25th. So you know 24th to the 25th is the first Rauhnacht, or the first sacred night. And you want to be prepared before that. So typically what I do is on winter solstice, part of my ritual is to prepare for the Rauhnächte that start, 3 days from now, and then to do that ritual. And this year, I've inspired a couple of my friends and family members to do this as well. But this year, I've really craved community, so I decided to create a challenge in my free Awakening Playground community. And uh, because I want to have other people do this with me. I do it all by myself all the time, and I want to share this practice and share the power and the magic of this practice because it's truly magical in the real sense of the word. And I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But if you wanted to do this challenge, what you would do is you would think of 13 wishes that you want to manifest or you want to bring about in your life in 2026. So I actually wrote down my 13 wishes prior to recording this video, so I have them all here. I'm not going to share them with you because they're very personal, but I have them all here. And this is actually something I created for all of the community members in my community that want to do the challenge and actually do it with me. Um, it's the Rauhnächte Challenge workbook. It's for free. It's in my community, so if you want to join that, please feel free. We would love to have you. So you can download this little booklet, and it gives you some instructions. It's really meant to have your wishes written down here to keep, and then right here to write down. Actually, here you can see it. Here to write down your wishes again, and then this page you would cut up, and this page you would keep, so that you can kind of have a reference to look back on throughout the year. In my case, uh, I already have my wishes in my phone because that's where I initially kind of was thinking about them and kind of feeling out if that was really what I was wishing for in 2026. So I haven't filled out the, you know, I've only filled out one page, and I'm going to start cutting them up, and I'll tell you more about how this goes, okay? So I'll just kind of work and talk because this is how this usually works best for me. I'm just going to cut this up here. So what I'm going to do now is the first step for the 12 sacred nights is you would think of 13 wishes that you want to manifest or that you want to, have come to life and come to existence in 2023. It could be anything, quite literally. I can tell you that in the last 10 years, I've manifested for myself getting a Ph.D. I've manifested for myself several, other educational things that I wanted to do, energetic healer, certificates I've gotten myself, and all kinds of other educational goals I had. I manifested a half marathon. I manifested a husband. I manifested a marriage. I manifested a beautiful wedding. I manifested kids. I mean, you name it. I'm out of the house. Pretty much everything that's going on in my life right now is something that at one point I wrote down in my Rauhnächte and burned and kind of put into the universe. Okay. So you would write down those 13 wishes, and then you start cutting them up into 13 pieces. Now, as I'm cutting them up, as I'm cutting mine up, tell you more about this. So as I said, there's 12 nights, and you have 13 wishes, right? Each night, starting on, Christmas Eve or Christmas, you will burn one of your wishes at random. So you cut them up, and then I have a nice little container here, and I just kind of fold them up. Let me just put this container out. I just fold them up like this, like so. Fold them up. I threw them in the container, and now I don't, at the end, I'm going to have 13 wishes in here, and I won't know which wish is which. So I can't really cheat or say, but I really want that one, the universe to take care of that one, right? So I'm going to continue doing this. So each night you will start burning one wish. So I typically start on Christmas Eve, but the first Rauhnacht is technically Christmas Day. And so each night I will, burn one wish and send it to the universe, right? Um, so it ends January 6th. After 12 nights, I will have one wish left over, and that's the wish that you have to take care of yourself. So 12 wishes, the universe, God, or whatever your word for it is, because it's really just semantics, meaning it's just a word you put on the same idea that most of us have, right? We'll take care of it. So 12 wishes the universe will take care of, but the 13th wish you have to actively co-create, meaning you actively have to go out to bring this into existence. And this 13th wish you will have left over on January 6th, which is when the 12 sacred nights end. Now, in the olden times, in the regions that this was mostly practiced, Germanic, Alpine regions, people thought that this time of year was a really magical time of year, a year where the veils are really thin. This whole idea of Halloween comes also from that sentiment, different cultural background, but same idea. The veils between the worlds are very thin, and so all kinds of things can pass through, good and bad, right? But it's also, for us, it's more easy to communicate with that other side and to tell the universe, tell our ancestors and whoever is helping us on that other side to what we need and what we want in this physical existence. So this is kind of a very basic level idea of it. I could go more into it, but I don't want to bore you. And anybody from the Germanic regions, will have more background on this. So if you're German or from a Germanic background, you'll probably already know about this, because this is actually starting to become very much a popular practice in Germany, which is surprising to me, because when I was living over there, 15 plus years now, and when I actually learned about it and then started doing it, people really weren't practicing this, and I was quite, I was considered quite esoteric and woo-woo and out there for doing this. But these days, it's even in, it's in popular culture at this point. Um, so there's even movies and things like that will kind of work with this theme. Okay. Um, so what you can also do each night, starting on the 25th, actually corresponds with 1 month of the new year. So the first sacred night, 24th to the 25th, corresponds with January. So it's said that on the 25th, whatever happens on the 25th and whatever you dream of on the 25th might be a pointer to what's going to happen in your life in January. I'll tell you a crazy story here. I dream a lot, and a lot of my dreams are uh, clairvoyant. So that means I communicate with the spirit realm a lot in my dream. I communicate with deceased loved ones. I've seen tons of my past lives and other things. So I'm very much in contact with the spiritual realm in my dreams. And last year on the first sacred night, I dreamt of a horrible plane crash. And if you can remember, there were two horrible plane crashes in the first couple of weeks of the new year of 2025. One of them being in India, and it was pretty much what I had dreamt of. So this isn't bogus. it's actually, there's actually something happening here. I've also had, feeling into the energy. For me personally, 1 year where I remember that the first couple nights felt really off and heavy and like grief and sadness, and I couldn't make sense of it at the time. Turns out that it was actually a really hard year for me, where I had a pretty debilitating breakup that made no sense at all. Turned out to be the best thing in my life after the fact, but it actually happened in the first couple of months in that new year. So I believe that's what I was feeling during those Rauhnächte, those months. So each Rauhnacht, each sacred night, corresponds to one night, to 1 month in the new year. So the 25th would be January, the 26th would be February, the 27th would be March, and so on and so forth until you're in December, right? So it's a really nice way to sort of look ahead into the new year, look ahead into, your own life, but also the collective energies of the new year. What some people do, and I have done too, is, I'll use oracle cards for each month. So I will draw one card for each month to see what the energy of that month is. So that's something that a lot of people will also do. And in general, it's really a time of kind of going introspective and calming down. And after a busy holiday season and busy times, it's just a wonderful time to allow yourself to rest and restore and rejuvenate and all of those things. So I love it. It's really become a big part of my holiday tradition. Apart from the fact that, like, I don't want to miss the magic of my wishes coming true anymore. So that's the basics of the sacred nights. Some people are really concerned with religion and all that. If you followed me for a while, you'll know that I'm very much interfaith, and or really don't. I think that there's something happening in our world where religion just isn't that attractive to a lot of people anymore. Um, a lot of people are starting to feel more spiritual but less religious. Often I hear, I'm spiritual but I'm not religious. And there's actually something that I learned when I was in graduate school and got my Ph.D. Transpersonal Psychology, which I thought was really interesting, which is that many people will be spiritual but not religious. There's also people that are spiritual and religious, and there's people that are neither religious nor spiritual. And there's people that are not spiritual at all, but very religious. And there's different, different ways of thinking about this. Neither is, none of the four ways or more are good or bad. But this is just to say that this practice, it's not a cult, it's not, a religious thing or anything like that. It's, if you practice a religion or not, you can still do this. I see it really less within its context, its cultural context, and more sort of like a universal spiritual practice that goes along with anything. So in case you were concerned about that, please don't. What else can I tell you about it? It's pretty easy to do. As I said, all you need to do is write 13 wishes on a piece of paper, cut them out like I'm doing here right now, fold them up, put them in a container. If you have some sage and are not too sensitive, that's a lovely thing to do as well. So I have these sage bundles from a time when I was selling them and nobody bought them. So I kind of have them left over. Typically I prefer loose leaves, but this works too for me. And so what I will do each night as well is I will sage my home and my family, my pets, and so on and so forth, because it's said that because the veil is so thin, in the ancient days, they thought that maybe ghosts and other critters could fly into your home and wreak all kinds of havoc, like, bring illness and things like that. So they would sage regularly during those days. And I find it to be a really nice practice as well to sage before I burn my wishes. Now, lastly, today is the winter solstice, right? And it's a powerful portal within our collective human being, humanity, our collective humanity. And on this day, if you want, or usually they say the energetics kind of go 3 days before and after. So if you're listening or watching this video after, it really doesn't mean that you missed the portal. You'd still do it. You could write down all the things that you're letting go for 2025. So kind of look back on the year of 2025 and gratitude. What went well? What did I like about the year? And then also let go of all the things that you no longer want in your life in 2026. So I did that earlier. This is my lovely list of things I do not want in my life anymore. And then you could burn that on the winter solstice, and or a couple days after, preferably though before you start your Sacred Nights ritual. So I'm almost done here. This is my last wish, my 13th. So I've put them all in this lovely little container. You see 13 wishes here for Miss Christine. And I'm going to close them up because I'm not going to open them, and hope my kids don't until the 25th. I'm going to shake them nicely so I can't cheat myself. And then I will randomly draw one out each night and burn it in my lovely little witchy cauldron. So that is the 12 Sacred Nights ritual. Again, if you want to join me in doing this, I have a lovely challenge going on in my school community. If you want to join that, the link is below in the description. It's absolutely and entirely free, both joining the community as well as doing the challenges. I'll be doing a lot more challenges in that group and offering all kinds of things. We have a coffee hour, so I know a lot of people have questions about my pre-birth experience and all of that. And so if you just want to come in, bring your coffee. By the way, I got a coffee here. Oh, it's so cold here in New Jersey right now. If you just want to bring your coffee and hang out with other people, like-minded people, and ask me some questions about whatever you have on your mind, please do that. We also have that within that community. Again, the link is in the descriptions. Now, you can also download this lovely workbook, which has all the wishes you can burn, as well as for each night you can write down an affirmation, an oracle card pull, and you can journal a little bit about the energies, right? So this is really nice to look back on and to also kind of see, well, did I intuit that right for that month? So this is my offering to you, my gift to you, if you want to kind of do a little bit more than just watch me here on YouTube stumble along. Right. So last act of this video is you're going to see me burn my, I'm not taking this into 2026 list, live and direct here on this video. So I'm going to fold this up, the sage a little bit beforehand, and then I'm going to burn this sucker. And man, am I ready to let some of that stuff go. Yeah, I am. I think that the issue at this point in a lot of the spiritual communities is that there's spiritual leaders out there that, you know, will come off as is like their stuff. They've already like kind of healed themselves enough. I don't know how many clients I have who are kind of like telling me, Christine, but how can I be, how can I be a healer? I haven't healed myself. And I'm like, you think I have fully healed myself? No. I've done a lot of my work, and I have to tell you, the Rauhnächte really helped me too, doing that. I've done a lot of work. I've gotten a lot of healing done. I still go to see other healers. I still go and see therapists, even though I have a lot of psychology knowledge. But it's because I can be of better service to you if I'm, done. And I also don't believe in that like hierarchy. I believe we should be forming more communities. That's the one sort of consciousness, right? One being capital letters ONE, one. Okay, so that's why I've created this community, and that's why I'm sharing this with you too. Like I have my list of stuff that I'm letting go as well. Oh right, let me see where I can put this burning stick. Just put it here. Okay. And now, without further ado, let's let this. Swaha. It's also said that as quickly as the fire is taking the piece of paper with your intentions on it, that's how much you are able to let it go, or how how easy it's gonna be able to go. So you see, mine is being taken up pretty quick, pretty ferociously, which I would interpret as I'm ready to let it go. Goodbye, off to the universe. No longer need you. All right, I think that's it for this video. I've talked enough. Again, come join me. I will be doing more videos. I know I've been a little quiet on my channel for different reasons, which I might tell you about another time. But come join me. Follow me here on YouTube. Come join me on my Instagram. And come join me in my community. It's really lovely. We get together, we have challenges, it's completely free, and it's really here to help support you in your journey and to feel less lonely and to connect and to create this love consciousness unity movement of whatever. This sounds super hippie-ish. I'm definitely not a hippie, but I'm really here. I want to move this along, and I think that only all of us, we need all of us to move this love consciousness along. So if you feel inclined to join me, please do so. Otherwise, I wish you a lovely winter solstice, lovely holidays, whatever you're celebrating, and much love and light to you. Mwah!